Charles Barkley made a guest appearance on The Jimmy Kimmel Show, where he talked about some of the personal things from his life, the NBA, and his respect for Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Throughout the 70s, the NBA was at its lowest point, and the league faced a lot of problems, the biggest one being the popularity and ratings of the NBA during that time period. That all changed when Larry and Magic came to the NBA in 1979 and completely revolutionized the league, which immediately brought more viewers and fans. Barkley said the league was in bad shape before they arrived, with a lot of players that were drug addicts. There were constant fights, and the product itself wasn't appealing. Barkley believes they helped other players and generations that came after them, so he'll forever be grateful to them. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird are two of the most important people in NBA history. If it weren't for those guys, the NBA wouldn't be what it is today. Obviously, Michael Jordan took it to another level. But I'm old enough to remember before Magic and Larry got into the NBA. The league was too black, too many drugs, and it wasn't making any money. Barkley doesn't want to leave out all the other legends of the game who impacted on the popularity of the NBA.
I think it's really important to see all those older guys walking around who built the NBA and made it was what it is today.
However, he thinks it all started with Magic and Bird. While other players who came after them did their part in further elevating the NBA, making it one of the world's most popular leagues.
Mercer on the run. Oh, what a play! What a defensive play! A two-hand block steal.
LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Patrick Ewing, and all those guys are much loved, but the two most important figures are Magic and Bird. Everything Barkley said makes absolute sense, and when Magic and Bird joined the Celtics and Lakers, they revitalized the old rivalry between the two teams. The fans were engaged and the league built on top of that, with more and more talented and charismatic players coming into the league bringing even more value. Most of the younger fans need to hear what Barkley said and understand there were players from the past that made the league a global product. One of the underrated rivalries in the mid-'80s was between the Boston Celtics, led by Larry Bird, and the Chicago Bulls.
Throws it away! The Bulls have it! Here comes Michael Jordan on the drive, 5 seconds. Jordan on the drive, right in the lane, 18-footer. Yeah!
This was when Michael Jordan was establishing himself as one of the best players in the NBA. Games between Jordan and Bird as two main stars of their teams brought crowds to their feet. And it was evident from the start that there's immense respect between the two legends. After Bird announced his retirement in 1992, Jordan paid ultimate respect for his rival and former teammate on Team USA. In a message sent to Bird, Jordan said he's looking forward to Bird retiring because of all the games he won against Jordan. And there were actually quite a few of them, especially in the playoffs. Larry, I hear that you're retiring. Thank goodness, I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing your face. You brought a lot of sad memories for me. I enjoyed it and I wish you a lot of luck. And I think you had a great and wonderful career. You ruined a lot of my successful games against the Boston Celtics. Bird and Jordan played against each other in 28 games during the regular season, in which Bird won 17 games and Jordan only 11.
Time of where the double is actually coming from and who the open man is.
Bird winds up with the ball and gets it to Ames. 3-on-1 Boston.
They both performed exceptionally well against each other during their mini rivalry, with Jordan averaging 33.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Bird would dominate in every aspect of the game, averaging 27 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 6.5 assists.
Bird and Johnson back defensively. Oakley goes in and they're going to call offensive foul. Bird, one of the great anticipators on defense, knew what Oakley was going to do there and got position.
They both met 2 times in the playoffs, and the Bulls got swept each time, despite Jordan's godly performances against the Celtics. Jordan never won against Bird and the Celtics in the playoffs, and this is where Bird gained Jordan's respect, which is not something a lot of NBA players have the privilege to say. Well, before dominating his era, Michael Jordan made his bones in the league as an ultimate competitor. An incredibly athletic rookie who feared no one on the court. Not even the best out of his most notable predecessors such as Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. But shockingly, the man himself once admitted that there was one whom he wasn't able to dismantle completely. In his 1998 book, For the Love of the Game, Jordan came clean and said that, he was never starstruck with Bird and Magic during his rookie season with the Chicago Bulls. In the process, he was able to match them every time they crossed paths. However, that wasn't the case with Julius Erving. When I came into the league, I wasn't nearly as enamored with Magic Johnson and Larry Bird as I was with Julius Erving. Jordan wrote in the book via Phil Star Global, "As a kid, my first nickname was Magic, but the only player I really knew about was Dr. J." MJ went on and confessed that his deep admiration for Dr. J hindered him from dominating his idol. "I had a couple of good games against Philadelphia during my first season," he added, "but I couldn't do anything when I was matched up with Julius because I had so much admiration for him. I was just happy to be on the same floor." Given the amount of competitiveness Jordan possessed, it's kinda hard to believe that he once made such a bold admission like that. On top of that, MJ was not the type of player who was fond of giving a specific NBA superstar some props, especially in that manner. However, the Bulls' record that season somehow backed Jordan's statement, as Erving and the Sixers thumped Chicago in all 5 meetings. There's no better way to lift the lid on the subject than to hear what Erving himself had to say about playing against a young Jordan. And based on Dr. J's comments, it appears MJ was telling the truth. "There were 3 years where we overlapped. I caught him before he really hit his stride," Erving said of Jordan. "He was scoring a lot of points, but he was trying to find himself. He was going to carry the torch, and he certainly desired to do it. He did a hell of a job at it." Having heard such rare comments from both legends, we now know that there was a time, even though for only 1 season, a player always got the better of Jordan on the court. During those epic playoff battles in the first round of the 1986 playoffs, Jordan dominated the Bulls, and they simply had no answer for him no matter what they did defensively. Luckily for them, they had a much better squad and were able to win the series in 5 games. But ever since that moment, Bird recognized Jordan as the next big thing in the NBA. He admired the fact that Jordan was incredibly gifted on both ends of the floor, showcasing his incredible versatility while being a fierce competitor, just like Bird. Bird was absolutely right when assessing Jordan's greatness, because a few years after that, he took the league by storm and, as we all know, became the greatest and one of the most accomplished players in NBA history. Bird and Magic era was soon over. The Pistons took over for a couple of years, establishing themselves as one of Jordan's biggest rivals. But that was the challenge he accepted and succeeded in beating them. After that, the rest was history for Jordan. When someone like Bird says Jordan is the greatest ever to play the game, that has extra value to the whole GOAT debate, because of Bird's knowledge about the game and what it takes to be superior to everyone else in the NBA.